What's up, everyone, and welcome to ClearTalk. So, in this video, we're going to be talking about this tariff on movies. You heard me straight. They're wanting to tariff movies now. So I don't. We're going to get to it. Everything's here. Do the damn thing. You know what to do. So, here we are. We're going to check this out. It's from People Magazine. Donald Trump announces 100% tariff on all foreign made movies, labeling them a national security threat. I'm sorry, but not everything is a fucking threat. Like, they're literally trying to make everything a national threat and national emergency so they can enact and force whatever they want on the country and the American people. Like, it is because that's the only way they can do like executive actions and stuff without and try to create policy without going through Congress. Basically, just lame ducking Congress right now. Um, anyways, we want movies made in America again, the president wrote on social media. I didn't know we weren't making movies in America. We'll get to that. Adding that the Hollywood is dying, quote, and foreign films are, quote, propaganda. So I guess if a movie is made outside the United States, it's purposely trying to make the United States look bad. I don't, or have they just full of false narratives? I don't. That's what anything made outside the United States is for. It's just attacking the United States. I'm sorry, but we are not some little baby child or something sitting over here like threatened and uh you know being the victim of everything, right? So I mean, it's goodness. All right, here we are. In a May 4th post on social media, Donald Trump signaled plans to impose a 100% tariff on all films made outside the United States. He described foreign made films as messaging and propaganda, saying that the threat to Hollywood made foreign made films made foreign made. That's a weird way of saying that. A national security threat. The proposal was raised some questions as people wonder how tariffs on the film industry could be imposed. President Donald Trump has set his sights on a new industry amid his ongoing trade war with the rest of the world, Hollywood. The 78-year-old politician took to his social media platform True Social on Sunday, May 4th, to announce plans to implement a 100% tariff on any and all movies coming into our country that are produced in foreign lands. The movie industry in America is dying a very fast death, Trump wrote. Other countries are offering all sorts of incentives to draw our movie makers and studios away from the United States. Hollywood and many other areas within the USA are being devastated. Okay. He described the situation as a concerted effort by other nations, declaring that it was thus a national security threat. It is in addition to everything else messaging and propaganda, he continued before concluding, we want movies made in America again. Okay. I mean, I don't. My question is, are we talking about? I mean, I know the movie industry, like a lot of movies are made, like they have to consider locations depending upon the theme and what the movie's about, and a lot of times they scout out locations all over the world to film. They get rights to the area, whatever the rights to film. They go to the location, they film certain parts of the movie in that location, and they might film other parts, more locally somewhere, doing CGI effects or whatever the case would make. Are is he referring to that? Like the idea of having movies performed, like certain parts of it filmed outside the United States, like he wants everything filmed here, or is he literally talking about just solely a whole concerted like movie industry outside the United States, like in another country that's doing a movie that has nothing to do with the United States, has nothing to do with any studios in the United States or filmmakers in the United States, outside of trying to draw that talent from the United States in order to do the movie. Like, is that what he's trying to? It's a little confusing and like I think that's also the big confusion that we'll see here in a minute from Hollywood, and like because they've basically decided to stop a lot of projects until they get clarity, because like it doesn't completely make sense, because I mean movies have to be made in all kinds of different places, and but that's not another country drawing our filmmakers or studios away from the United States. It's just the studios and filmmakers deciding to go and film in another area. So that's confusing to me, and it doesn't make much sense. And so I don't know if that's I don't know what he's meaning by this. So I think that's what's the confusion for everybody. Trump claimed that he would work with Department of Commerce and the United States Trade Representative to implement the tariffs, saying that they would begin immediately. But despite this announcement, the White House implied that there were no instant plans to act on the directive. Although no final decision on foreign film tariffs have been made, the administration is exploring all options to deliver on Trump's directive to safeguard our country's national and economic security while making Hollywood great again. White House spokesperson Kush Desai, whatever, said in a statement shared with CNN. The outlet noted that these proposed tariffs would be a first, as movies are intellectual property, not goods. Wonder what difference that would make in like the legality of that. Financial Times reported that there have been concerns about the impact that tariffs would have on the film industry in the United States and abroad. London-based media analyst Claire Enders described the plan as beyond devastating to the outlet, saying these are key services for the UK. We have been making movies in tandem with the U.S. for 100 years, Enders continued. And then apparently, never mind. Analysis on Barclays also proposed that the tariffs might simply result in studios freezing activities on projects while they wait for some clarity on actual policy. People reached out to the White House, the Department of Commerce, and the Office of the United States Trade Representative for a comment on the proposed tariffs, but did not hear back at the time of publication. So yeah, this is confusing, and I don't know if there's been any because I just saw this pop up. I had heard about it, I think yesterday at some point, but this when I sat down a minute ago started looking for something to discuss. This immediately popped up, and I'm like, yeah, I saw that. Let me go over this and look, like, because this doesn't make any sense, and it is completely unclear as to what we're talking about here. I mean, which has been the issue with this, with this regime this whole time. It's just the unclarity in these actions and things that are being posted and talked about and discussed or whatever. Like, um, I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. We have, you know, I mean, doesn't that kind of go against the free market idea too? Also, I mean, it's as far as like, I mean, you have studios that work together across borders. Like for certain movies, you might have a a studio here that has a studio affiliate in another country or something like that, and they work cross lines for certain parts of a movie, perhaps. Like they might connect with this you know location of their studio and say the UK or something to work, or that UK location might be developing a movie and they need to work with us as far as uh, doing a section of it. Maybe it's a show that's a UK show, but they have a portion of the show where the character goes to the United States and they need to, do part of the film here on location somewhere. Say it's New York or something like that, whatever. Like there's constant back and forth across all these different places where certain uh, studios and stuff work together in tandem, like the person said from the UK, to try to develop a movie. So this isn't like, how are you going to implement that, and why? Like, what's the security issue? It's wild to me that he can just state that something is a national security and doesn't really seem to give a reason. Like for me, and maybe that's something. I mean, of course, that has to be litigated at some point. Like everything that's considered, like any kind of thing that's policy driven or done, say by executive order, whatever, at some point it's going to be litigated in court. But it's just wild to me uh, that can be done without some sort of like definition of what is being considered a threat. Like, uh, he's just loosely saying it's messaging and propaganda. Like that doesn't. What is, like, what is your evidence of that? Which of course I guess that would have to be litigated, but like it just doesn't make any sense. Like why? What? And this is 100%. So he doesn't want any cross platform, cross like over from any studio or movie being made that would more or less even have the opportunity to uh, show here in the U.S. And I don't. It doesn't make any sense to me. This is one of those, just like, I'm just dumbfounded by what the the thought behind this. I mean, is he just that obsessed with tariffs that he's just literally looking at everything and going to decide, like, just tariff everything? I mean, and that's just going to cause the development of the movies to go up, cost, movie prices potentially to go up, especially if they're a foreign movie. I mean, are we just not going to show the movies here if they were, potentially made even partially in another location outside the United States by, affiliate studio or whatever the case? Like, it's, even if it's Canada, how many movies that we work back and forth in tandem with, like, Canada to do? I mean, that's insane. That's just crazy. I'm completely taken back by this. I don't understand. Like, why? What's the point? Um, And this just coincides with everything else, just adding to the bucket of this silly, stupid shit that he's doing. That you're just looking like why? I don't. I really am starting to question this man's mental state, and I don't mean like his, you know, wit or anything like that. I mean like literally just the state of how he perceives and envisions reality. Like I don't. It's like he lives in a completely different universe, completely different world. He does not think or see or smell or taste or anything like any sense like we do, like the ordinary person does. It's like a completely different. He's like a completely different being, and he can't. The disconnect is so beyond comprehension. I mean, it's like I don't even know. Let me know in the comments down what you think about this. I mean, yes, this is kind of a silly, I guess maybe to some degree to even maybe talk about, but it is, and because some people are just gonna be like, oh, whatever, f Hollywood, they whatever, I know there's a sector of the country that to some degree, or of citizens that just hate Hollywood or whatever the case. They don't have a problem going and seeing a movie, but they hate Hollywood. Um, but I mean, in general, uh, but does this make sense? I don't get it. Anyways, let me know in the comments what you think, and yeah. Until next time, peace. Clear Talk. I'm out.